The Eagles just keep making moves. Even after I fully prepare for a show, I wake up to more Eagles roster fluctuation. We've got an old friend being brought back while I was sleeping last night. Phillies, Mets. They suck, the Phillies. Plain and simple. And hey, maybe a little Ryder Cup conversation. Trending in the AM, we are live, talking all things happening in Philly sports. 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, as always. Please hit that like button. Please hit that share button. And as always, hit subscribe on the STT Sports Network YouTube page. 6:03 to start the day. Can we get to 6:05 maybe? Baby steps, like, share, subscribe, and vote on our YouTube poll question. So if you're watching on Twitter, head on over to the YouTube page to vote on our live poll question. Would the Phillies be able to beat the Mets in a playoff series? Yes, no, or only if it's held with home field advantage. They're your options. Guys, I'm Phil Stiefel. Tell everyone, tell one, tell all to turn the dial down right now. I'm the king of the morning. Switch to Training in the AM on the STT Sports Network, guys. That's what I want. That's what I need, guys. We got lots to talk about. The Eagles practice squad locked up. The Eagles roster in fluctuation. Every 5 minutes, a new move. Howie Roseman doing what Howie Roseman does best. Wheeling, dealing, and always trying to find a way to make the team better. So we're going to talk a lot about that. Next, we are going to talk about the Phillies. Lose again last night to the Mets. The Mets completed the sweep of the Philadelphia Phillies, and I don't think there's enough outrage for how lazy, how immature, how terrible. The Phillies played horrible for 3 games, and it's just 3 games. I get it. We're 30 games left in the season, 29 games left in the season. Teams trying to take your division away from you. And you went out there and put out zero effort. The Mets straight up curb stomped you for 3 nights. And I don't think there's enough outrage for how lazy the team looked all week. And finally, we might talk a little Ryder Cup. The U.S. Ryder Cup team has been announced. Keegan Bradley announced his captain picks yesterday, and I love it. I'm not a Ryder Cup guy, but now I'm a Ryder Cup guy. I'm all ready for it, guys. So we're going to talk all about all that stuff. Good morning, Duck. How you doing? They didn't get swept at Citi Field. They got curb stomped. Eagles brought back a few players, including someone that I mentioned as soon as he was cut on Twitter and on this show, Marcus Epps. I had him ahead of Justin Simmons and some of the other names. The Eagles listen. They listen to Trending in the AM. Anais Smith, yes, he was one of only 2 former Eagles that went to practice squads elsewhere. Anais Smith went to the Panthers, and I don't know. I got too many notes here written down. Kendall Lamb went to the Dolphins. That's right. Everybody except for Drew Mukuba was back at practice. Yes. Marcus Epps back, baby. 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock last night, 11 o'clock last night. Howie's still working the phones, still making deals. I love it. Good morning, Stephen Fuentes. Eagles are going to distract us from the Phillies end of the season. Yeah, absolutely. Laughing out loud at anyone that yes to the poll question. Yeah, well, there's going to be a few. Because I know I put something out a little bit ago on Twitter and instantly got within 3 seconds the old, it's a 162-game season situation. No, you can't watch what you watch over the last 3 games and have 110% confidence in this team. You just can't. Good morning, Little G. Hope you are well. Well, happy birthday to your cousin. You just can't watch that Phillies game and feel good about this team. You just can't. Terrible. Now, they may go out and beat up on the Braves this weekend and beat up with the Mets at home. But you got to go on the road in the playoffs. You just gave the Mets. Now, I still think the Phillies will win the division. I still think the Phillies are fine till the season ends. But last night was just a microcosm of what's going to be, or not just last night, the last 3 nights, microcosm of what will be the problem come October. Thank God we have the Eagles. Look, a week from today, we are 1 week away, Anthony, from the Eagles season kicking off. 1 week. That's 7 days. Bring it on. I need some good positivity in my life. I need something good. No energy and no heart. None whatsoever, Adam. And you know what? It pisses me off. I try to watch every night. I try to watch as much as I can every night. But how can you? How can you? How can you? It was a really tough loss. You not only lose, but you gave the Mets life. You gave the Mets life. You also, put something in the back of your head that when you go to New York in the playoffs, you can't win there. It was just a pathetic effort. And you know what? The first game, there was a lot of things going wrong. Excuses could be made. But then to the second game, they just got smoked. And then last night, within the second inning, you could tell that the Phillies were done. And they didn't want to go out there. You could just tell that when they were down 3-0, the game was over. Because they had already packed their bags and were ready to get home. That's not a championship mentality. Not a championship mentality at all. Oh, awesome. Awesome. You'll be celebrating your winning of whatever raffle prize while you're at the game, right? Yeah. Reds were 1 game back in the Mets for the second wild card. Now it is 4 games. Phillies saved the Mets season. The Phillies saved the Mets season. The Phillies gave the Mets life. The Phillies let the Mets think that they can win, think that they can do it. I'll win the raffle and go to a Birds game. Win-win. I bought. Let's see. Awesome. Big Al got that season opener kind of. He does. He's a big spender. They play worse at Citi Field than they do in Arizona. Yeah. It's just not good. Not good at all. What's up, Irish Drew? How you doing this morning? I hope you're well. We got lots of Eagles. We're not just talking Phillies. We are talking Eagles as well. The roster, the practice squad has settled out. What do we think of them bringing back Marcus Epps? I love it. Because all the players that came back to practice yesterday, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Lane Johnson, Jordan Miles, everyone was there. Landon Dickerson was out there. You love it. But Drew Mukuba was not out there. And then early in the afternoon, before practice, they waived Tristan McCullum, their 4th safety on the roster. And then you see that Drew Mukuba's not practicing, okay? So you're like, what's going on here? Well, Howie already had the Marcus Epps idea probably being worked on at that point. Now, they have not said whether Marcus Epps is going to be on the 53-man roster to start or the practice squad to start. And Marcus Epps is not who he used to be. And he was never a great safety. He was always a solid safety. He was like a Reed Blankenship, solid. But obviously did not have great success after leaving Philadelphia. I think he tore his ACL last year, early in the season. But he brings depth, veteran experience, Super Bowl experience, plays plenty of special teams. Marcus Epps' addition is a great addition for depth to this Philadelphia Eagles team, big time. So does Marcus Epps start week 1? Probably not. No, not at all. Actually, no chance he starts week 1. It's Sidney Brown starting week 1 if Drew Mukuba can't go. You bring Marcus Epps in case Sidney Brown struggles or in case someone gets hurt in the first game. You bring Marcus Epps in to solidify the kick and punt coverage team. You bring Marcus Epps in as a veteran to lead that defense or that safety room. Eagles still got a top 10 defense. Drew, I agree with you. Wholeheartedly agree with you on this, Drew. I do think it's going to be a struggle for the defense early in the season. I do think that you are going to see some hiccups and some points given up as some of these guys adjust to new roles, as some of these rookies step up, as these players, as we figure out who our second cornerbacks even going to be. But I think by week 5, week 6, we're going to start to see a corner. They'll get their momentum going. And I think they'll be a top 10 or 12 defense the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season. by the end of the year, they'll finish in the top 5, in my opinion. I wholeheartedly believe that. Dude, Phil Topper said after the game that you can't blame the guys for yesterday because it was the first time they saw that pitcher. And I said that. We knew he was good. Guy's making his 3rd major league start, and he goes 8 shutout innings, and you get, 4 or 5 hits on him? Pathetic. And it was a Phillies pitcher making his 3rd start of his career, and he got rocked. Topper would say, well, you can't blame him. He's a new pitcher. Topper is Mr. Excuse. That is all Topper does. And you take on the personality of your manager, coach in sports. And this Phillies team has that lackadaisical attitude. You see before the game, Topper talking. I just want to smack that smug look on his face. I have 8 season tickets through work. It's a perk for sure. That's awesome. That is awesome. Can Epps return kicks? I don't remember. I think he may have at some point in his career. Like, it's in the back of my head. But maybe he can. I do know he played coverage teams here with the Eagles for a while. Covey is still available if we are so concerned at kick and punt returns. Well, I'm more concerned about coverage on the punt returns and the kick returns. I don't think there's any room left on the practice squad now at this point. We brought back pretty much everybody. Not one of our players was claimed off waivers. Not one. We all overrate these players because not one of them got claimed. All the people we brought back but one were already on our roster. We did bring in Audric, Estime, Estime, whatever you call him. Broncos running back, Notre Dame player. Brought him in onto the practice squad instead of bringing back our running backs. But the rest of it were all people that were here already. Last year's defense was fantastic. Secondary, middle of the road, pass rush. This year, the secondary won't be as good. I don't know if the secondary won't be as good. I think the secondary is still going to be fine, for sure. I think the defense is just going to take some time to get into gear this year. I just feel that way. They have tried Mitchie and Shipley at returns too. Yeah, A.J. Dillon returned some kicks during one of the preseason games. Dotson's done it before. They have options. They do. And when all else fails, Cooper Dejean is still one of the best in football at doing it. Scheduled series loss. Yeah, exactly. Scheduled loss. I still worry about the Phillies' bottom of the lineup. I mean, I worry about the entire lineup, Drew. The entire lineup can go cold at a moment's notice. How sweep it is. The Boom Mike. I like that name. I like what you did there. And I don't know whether you're a Mets fan or not, but I like it. I like it a lot. Phil, great point about the team taking on the manager's personality. They do it in basketball, football, baseball. Every sport, you take on the manager's personality because he's your leader. I don't want to hear people say baseball managers don't really have a role that you could play without. No. You take on his personality. When he goes out there and says, well, Jordan Romano might have an 80 ERA, but, he's still got some good stuff. He's just unlucky. Or, when you use that unlucky excuse 100 times, the players feel like they don't have to worry about anything. I knew you'd be. I literally set you up to make your first comment of the day. Estimate. Whatever. It's all good. Anais. It's Anais. See, I got that one right. Anais Smith went to the Panthers. Yes, 2 Eagles left the franchise. Anais Smith went to the Panthers. Kendall Lamb back to the Dolphins. Mad Chatter back to the OG name. We're going back to the OG name for the Mad Chatter. No surprise, though. Elijah Cooks, Kenyon Green back on the practice squad. That was a little surprise. Kyle McCord, Perry Nickerson, Holland Pierce, Eli Ricks on the practice squad, Andre Sam, Patrick Johnson, E.J. Jenkins, Brandon Johnson, Chance Campbell, all back on the Eagles practice squad. Not one Eagles player got claimed, proving that we just massively overrate all of our players during preseason games. The Eagles did put 2 claims in on cornerbacks. They didn't win, having the 32nd pick in the waiver list. They didn't get any of those guys. They just got one player. And I love the one player that they brought in. Let me get that. Willie Lampkin, center from the Rams. Because Rams fans are crashing out on social media because supposedly there's an unwritten rule that I've never heard of that when there's a player injured and they waive him because of that, nobody else is allowed to claim that player. They're just doing that to skirt the rules and put him on their practice squad. But the Eagles did it. Willie Lampkin, a small center, state champion in high school wrestler, 47-0 as a high school wrestler. Really good at, getting leverage and stuff like that. And Rams fans on social media are crashing out over the Eagles claiming Willie Lampkin. And I don't know who this dude is, but I watched a bunch of his preseason highlights. And for a small 5'11" guy, I've seen some people say 270, some say 290. So we're going to call it 280. The dude gets some push in run blocking situations. Old school name is back. That's right. Good morning, Mitchie Pooh. What up? Yeah, we're welcoming him back. Hopefully his content's better. Do other teams underestimate? I mean, there's that way to look at it. Not one player on our team was there a waiver, and there were guys that we waived out. Kenyon Green, Terrence Marshall, Elijah Cooks, guys with actual playing experience, like real true experience. Like, I wasn't shocked that a Kyle McCord wasn't claimed. But I'm shocked that Kenyon Green, someone didn't take a flyer, or a Marshall or a Cooks who, got experience. Eli Ricks. One of those guys, I'm kind of shocked there wasn't a claim put in on one of those guys. Rams fans, well, that is a fake thing. Radio and media making an issue out of it. Yeah, that's true. There are no such thing as Rams fans. That is very, very true. Watching the highlights of Willie Lampkin was wild. He's a bulldozer. The short arms are a concern, but man, if he gets his hands on you, he's a small guy. But what a wrestler's great at, leverage and stuff like that. And this guy can push you over. You put him in Stoutland, you got a great backup center maybe. Now, I bash PFF, but PFF's okay when it fits my narrative. And according to PFF, he was the highest graded offensive lineman on the interior in the whole entire preseason. So there, PFF works in my favor for a change. But Rams fans crashing out over it. Howie Roseman breaking some unwritten rule and everyone bashing him, saying he'll be fired and this and that. Like, it's insane what Rams fans are saying about it. Guys, we've only got 9 likes on this video so far. I know there's been more than 9 people watching. Please, if you haven't, hit that like button, guys. Good morning, Bruce. We got Eagles. We got Phillies. We got Marcus Epps back in town. We've got a new fan favorite in Willie Lampkin. We got the Phillies on the brink of disaster. Phil, that was a very bad game last night, but I thought maybe we would lose this Walker. Look, Walker's doing what he can do the best, whatever. Okay? I don't blame Walker. I blame the bats getting shut out. I blame the attitude and, nonchalant attitude. Like, I don't know if it was the second or third inning. I'm sitting there and watching the game on my couch, Bruce. I'm just like, the first thought that went into my mind was that they're just going through the paces to get home to Philly as quickly as possible. World Series teams don't just roll over and play dead in a big moment like that. They don't just accept their fate. Okay, so we know for sure there's one Rams fan in the entire world. Okay, gotcha. Phillies need a Jalen Hurts. Who is the guy to call that team? Exactly. They need leaders, and I've been saying that for years, Anthony. Real leaders. And the fans need to hold them more accountable. Most of us are holding them accountable. When Rick gets here, he'll say it's okay. Whatever. We'll deal with that bridge when we cross it. But there's plenty of Phillies fans out there. Like I said, I put out a tweet looking for more rage and pissed off Phillies fans. Because Eagles fans would never accept that. And instantly got, it's a 162-game season. Literally, within a minute of that post, I was reminded that. It's a load of horse crap. I'm curious to see if TMG takes his chance. What? Terrence Marshall takes what chance? I know a girl who thinks Matthew Stafford's cute. That's your typical Rams fan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Matthew Stafford may be cute, but his wife's a freaking dope. I feel you are right, and that is why I feel we should bring up Painter as if he is a star. Yeah, maybe bringing up some youthful energy will excite the team, Bruce. The Philly are not a World Series. No, they're not. They're not. I thought I clicked the next one. Phil, I feel you're right. I'm right all the time, right? Come on, Phil. No one can say that disaster was okay. Well, there are people that say it's okay. Okay? Because it's 100. And I get it. It is a long season, baseball. I understand it's a long season. But there are ebbs and flows. There's momentum shifts. And not only did our momentum shift in a bad way, you just gave the New York Mets a shit ton of confidence. It's about right for this fictional creature called an LA Rams fan. Yeah, fictional. 100% fictional. So to summarize, the only big move in preseason was Cutlets to the Patriots. Yeah, Tommy Cutlets lives on, right? You got to love it. Also, we could bring up Crawford because he's already a star. And they're wasting him away down there. You're starting to think the Sixers win a title before the Phillies. No, that I don't think. I think it's going to be a long time before either franchise does, Drew. There's no way the Sixers are winning a title anytime soon. Not with their 12-guard lineup that they're trying to run out there every single night. All right, we're up to 12 likes. Still not enough. The Mets live rent-free. Yeah, exactly. The Mets do. Citi Field lives rent-free in Phillies' heads as well. I know fans of all teams, but no one I know is a Rams fan. Well, we know Drew's friend is one. That's about it. Mets were slumping, and they called up their top pitching prospect, and their year turned around. It's a great point. It's a great point, Anthony. And look at him. He's three games in. He's given up 2 or 3 runs total in 3 games. His ERA is sub-1 in 3 games. And now the Mets are believing in themselves again. To me, it's humbling knowing even if Ringo was cut, the Panthers would not have interest in claiming him. Well, Ringo, I still feel Keely Ringo will be starting, not Adoree Jackson week 1. Not Jacorian Bennett week 1. Now, I don't think he holds on to the job all year, but Keely Ringo, their draft pick, will get the first shot. I feel that. Flyers win before the Phillies and Sixers win. You know what, honestly? That's probably more. The Eagles win before the Phillies and Sixers do again. Big mistake for us to complain about those dishes in the outfield. Yeah, look, we just gave them every bit of bulletin board material. We gave them every bit of everything. It is what it is. Phillies are the Sixers. At least the Sixers, well, I guess now the Phillies have that excuse. At least the Sixers have the excuse that their best player is broken down in Joel Embiid, and their second supposed best player is often injured in Paul George. At least the Phillies or the Sixers have that excuse built in. Now, I know we just lost Zach Wheeler, but there's enough other superstars on the Phillies that should be overcome. What's the Phillies' excuse? The Phillies owners claim they want to be the Eagles, but they are not even close. Exactly. Not even close. Eagles win at least 2 before the Phillies win. Probably. Vic has made it clear he doesn't trust Keely to start, but he's also made it clear, K1, that he didn't want Adoree Jackson. He's also made it clear that players need time to earn his trust. Jacorian Bennett's been here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Has he done that yet? He doesn't like to start rookies right away, Mac McWilliams. So by default, game 1, drive 1, I expect Keely Ringo. But where they go after that first drive, I don't know. I didn't say Keely Ringo's going to be the starter all year or even all game. Just saying he is going to start the first game. Now, what happens after that, I don't know. When you say the job is there to take, no one has stepped up to take it. And that's what's so frustrating about this last month with the Eagles. There is a job that's still up for grabs, and nobody wants it. It's hard to fathom that nobody separated themselves from the rest. Drew would have signed Stephen Gilmore. Yeah, I mean, that kind of, I guess. Drew, older, if you get him on a 1-year deal, cheap enough, sure. But he is also older. And if you're going to sign Stephen Gilmore, you should have just brought back Darius Slay. Basically. I don't know. I still think their best bet is to roll with what they got till Jacory and Bennett can go. Consider Cooper Dejean on the outside and see if Mac McWilliams can play the slot. I still feel we have to be good in the playoffs, but I feel we need to have more confidence. Well, they don't have confidence. And that ride home from New York last night had to be one of the most depressing rides back after a road series. It really did. Also, I feel Rob needs to give the team more energy. He needs to give some swift kicks in the ass. That's what he needs to do. Let's call it what it is, Bruce. Rob Thompson just says, guys, good job, Slugger. You tried your best. You'll get him next time, Slugger. And after CDR picking double moves Keeley out of his jock for a house call. Yeah, exactly. They're going to go with the known entity first and then move on. Now, like I said, K1, I don't know if you heard me say it before, or saw it online. The Eagles did put in claims on multiple cornerbacks, including Brent's, okay? But being 32nd on the waiver list, we didn't get either of them. I think it was two. It was Brent's and somebody else they put in claims on that got picked up by other teams. So the Eagles still know that Adoree', Ringo, and Bennett aren't good enough. They just haven't been able to find the right piece at the right time. Do you think Howie regrets letting Isaiah Rodgers or Darius Slay go at this point, especially considering the deals they signed? I bet you he's sitting there kicking himself in the ass at this point saying, damn it, misread that market. Misread who we had. I got the gift of gab, Bruce. Cutting Casty would send a message. Well, you're not cutting Casty. If you're not cutting Jordan Romano, Anthony, you're not cutting Casty, okay? NFL be very loyal to their players except for Pickett. It's a business, man. People get traded. Philly has great greats, but y'all overrank your mids. That is true. That is very true. We overrank our below mids as well. All those practice squad guys we were scared to lose. Not one claim was made. We lost out on Brent, and I can't remember which other one it was, K1. But that just proves, K1, that they are not confident in what they've got. But you can't re-sign. You can't re-sign everybody. There are roster constraints, obviously. Will we ever see Andrew Painter pitch? In 2047, he will finally get the call up. Nola and Walker make me nervous. Yeah. I mean, look. We've been playing with fire with Taijuan Walker all year. He's been great this year based off of everything that we knew about him. He's exceeded expectations, but at some point we knew it was going to bite him in the ass. And he has struggled against the Mets mightily as well. Aaron Nola, you just don't know. You hope he builds off his last start a little bit. He was okay in his last start. Hopefully he figures it out. We'll see. I don't know what you do. The only Phillies pitcher, even despite this week, that I have confidence in 100% is Christopher Sanchez. You guys, guys, you tried your best this series. Now let's go get him. Yeah, let's go get some Tim Hortons coffee. Yeah, exactly. Look, the whole go get him slugger attitude. You'll get him next time, buddy. That's the personality of this Phillies team. You don't see that with the Eagles. You see the want, the fire, the fight. Even after getting to the promised land and winning a championship. You see they're not content. But not the Phillies. The Phillies are content making the playoffs. The Phillies are content as long as they win 92 games in the regular season. The Phillies are content with being good. They're not trying to become great. It's a big difference between the Phillies and the Eagles. Personalities, energy, leadership, ownership. It's a night and day organizational difference between those two teams. College football game 2 starts tonight. Give me the game, man, chatter, and the betting line. I'll give you my prediction. I'll give you my uneducated opinion. They should have called up Griff McGarry if they didn't want to call up Painter. He's actually been pitching really well, hasn't he? He's one of those guys like Mick Abel that fell off over the last couple of years. But I think, did he win like minor league pitcher of the month or something like that? They tried him to start, and then they moved him to the pen. I think he's back to starting. I'm pretty sure he's had a nice run over the last month or two. If we handed a bag to Rodgers, it would have hurt our leverage down the road paying Carter. I mean, really? He didn't sign for that big of a contract, K1. It was really, really, really easy contract to match. And I bet you hear Fred Johnson when he comes back saying how he wanted to stay here, but he wanted a chance to start. I wonder if Isaiah Rodgers wanted to be here. He wanted a chance to start, and the Eagles couldn't guarantee that because they still got this obsession with Keely Ringo. Or Darius Slay. What did he sign, a 1-year, $8 million deal, Darius Slay, to go to Pittsburgh? You couldn't have found the money to keep Darius Slay here? We've all seen it that Keely Ringo isn't it. We've all seen it for a year or so now. We make excuses. Well, he's young. He needs more practice. He needs more time on the field. But sometimes you got to call a spade. And Keely Ringo is just a backup / special teamer. But he is still going to get the chance. He's still going to be given the opportunity. And again, I've said this before. Maybe Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, Jacorian Bennett, any of them will be better once Quinion Mitchell and Cooper Dejean are on the field with them. Once Reed Blankenship and Zach Bond are on the field with them. Once Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Moro Jomo are on the field with them. When you've got your studs on defense, it might make your weak link a little bit better or easier to cover up. Keely Ringo's not going to be guarding Jamar Chase. He'll be guarding the second or third best wide receiver on the team. You'll get real pass rush on them, on the quarterbacks, versus average pass rushing. Meaning you'll have to cover a guy for less time. So maybe there is still that little nugget out there that with a full squad, someone like Keely Ringo or Adoree Jackson or Jacorian Bennett can be successful immediately once the whole team is out there. And again, as we said at the beginning, everybody yesterday practiced except for Drew Mukuba. Even Landon Dickerson. That dude had knee surgery 2 weeks ago, and he's out there practicing. The dude's a freaking beast. A.J. Brown back. Smitty back. Mailata back. Everybody's back at practice, and you love to see that. Now that we are literally 7 days away. 1 week. That's 7 days back. You got to love it. Got to love that everybody's going to be back and on the field week 1. Super Bowl predictions odds. Baltimore, Buffalo, Philadelphia. Yes. I did. I finished my record prediction for every single Eagles team, or every single NFL team. I predicted. I finished writing down every single win-loss for the Eagles. We'll save that for next week. Maybe some of it for social media as well. But I've got it down. And let's just say 2 of the teams on this screen I'm predicting to play for the Super Bowl. Okay? I should work for Eagles. All my talent Eagles turn out to be fire. Yeah, I don't know about that. Rodgers wasn't even a starter, and Slay turned 35. Well, look, Rodgers was the guy first up when they needed him last year, not Keely Ringo. Darius Slay does turn 35, but Darius Slay, I think people undervalue how good Darius Slay was last year. Darius Slay played some really, really good football. He was an all-pro Darius Slay. Remember, he was an all-pro in 2022, just completely bombed in 23 with James Bradbury. And last year he rebounded. Not to the all-pro level, but he still played well. That's just my opinion. And I did not like letting either of them go this offseason. Do you think it's disrespectful that the Ravens and Bills have the same odds as Eagles? No, I don't think so. I think the Ravens and the Bills are damn good football teams. There's some questions on them, just like there are with the Eagles. In theory, the champ should be the favorite the next year, but I get why not. I mean, the Eagles did lose 5 regular players on defense, which is a problem for sure. So, I mean, I get it. But I think they're the three best teams in football, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Eagles. I really do. I don't think there's a doubt about that. That's just my opinion. Any other surprises yesterday? Charlie Ulett, by the way, long snapper, back on the 53. So Howie definitely maneuvering that shit left and right like always, which you got to love. Good news for y'all is Howie addressed lots of issues. And he's still addressing the issues. Like, you know, I record the Eagles Check Down. It's an audio podcast on the Eagles Pimple Podcast Network every night. And I try to wait as late as possible because whenever I do it, then 20 minutes later, something else breaks. I did it yesterday at like 8 o'clock last night. And then 2 hours later, Marcus Epps signs. Because Howie's never done. Slay missed 8 games the last 2 seasons. Folks forget that. Yeah, no, I know. And that's why you need to have a solid backup. But when he was on the field, he was still a very good cornerback too. Okay? And he also missed plays every game. He'd get dinged up here or there and have to come off the field. Yeah, KC could come out of the AFC again. They absolutely can. You can never go against one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks of all time and one of the 5 greatest coaches of all time, no matter what their roster says. Now, the Rashee Rice situation, he's going to miss the first 6 games, so maybe they come out a little slow. But you can never bet against Patrick Mahomes. You just can't. But if any year is going to be the year, I kind of have a feeling this is that year. Bills secondary still bottom the NFL. Okay, well, you know. Bills need another edge like Eagles, but they are very few. They definitely have a lot more holes on the Bills than the Eagles. I wanted to tell you on Coward a day or two ago, had a guest saying Hurts best dual threat quarterback. Well, Hurts is just the best quarterback, period. Hit laugh track? No. I thought you would get a few more subscribers since the Chet and Bill had Angelo and Diddy on last night. Yeah, you know, that show, it's a great show, but it's also cross-streamed on multiple platforms, so that it doesn't help as much as you think. Yeah, I know. Well, anybody brings Colin Coward into the conversation, you know, it's just like, psst, move on, right? Move on. You lose all credibility when you use him as a reference, basically, right? Where's Joe in the chat? I need Joe in the chat because I want to talk about Keegan Bradley not choosing himself for the Ryder Cup team. The U.S. Ryder Cup team is set, and I'm one of the 2 or 3 people that watch this show that care. I did not want Colin Morikawa on the Ryder Cup team, but mad respect for Keegan for taking his captain's responsibility seriously and not being a player's captain. If anybody wants to talk Ryder Cup, great, I would love to, but U.S. is going to get smoked. Jalen Hurts is the best dual-threat quarterback in the league. What do you do in the playoffs matters, and Jalen has been historically good in the playoffs, and Lamar always wilts. Well, I think Lamar is going to get, spoiler alert, a pretty successful playoff run this year. I really, truly believe that. I don't know. I'm just getting this vibe that he's ignoring the distractions. He's taking it a little bit more seriously this year. Now, will the team be good enough? I don't know. The defense will still be great. Will the offense? They lost one of their tight ends, likely for the year. We'll see. But I don't feel like it's, would you say, disrespectful that they got the same odds, because again, it's not like the betting odds are not based off of, you know, favoritism. Betting odds are set up so that the sports books can always win. Okay? They don't want people betting on the Eagles, the Bills, the Ravens, because they think that they're the best chances. Them putting the Chiefs at whatever, 4th or 5th on the list, they're trying to encourage you to bet the Chiefs because they don't think the Chiefs will do it. You got to remember, betting odds are different than Chris Sims polls or lists or Colin Coward's lists and stuff like that. There's science between betting odds so that the sports books make money. Yes, Kyle Hamilton signed the richest deal ever for a safety. Still breaks my heart. I understand why we didn't take him, but man, I still wanted Kyle Hamilton so bad that year. That was the Jordan Davis draft, right? Where we drafted Jordan Davis instead of Kyle Hamilton. I wanted Kyle Hamilton so bad that year. I find a check roster unless they hit substantially better. They will be out round 1. South Florida versus number 25, Boise State. And what's the line on the game? And is it in Boise State's blue field or is it in South Florida? I need details on that game, and I'll give you the number. And I'll give you my prediction. I know nothing about it. I didn't even know Boise State was ranked. Don't know what South Florida's mascot is, but I need the line and who's at home, and I will give you a prediction for tonight's game. The Smurf turf, yeah. I hate it. I can't watch Boise. Like, some people think it's cool or fun. I cannot watch it. If I watch that game, my head will hurt within 3 minutes. That blue turf, that Smurf turf, is ridiculous. And what's the betting line? Who's favored and what's the line? I need all the information. You want me to make a prediction? I need all the information in front of me to be able to do it. To make an informed, educated decision. Gotta have the information. We're at 13 likes. Guys, hit that like button if you haven't. Keegan should have picked himself. He earned it. Have the dog to pick yourself and then go prove why and win it for Team USA. If Bryson is the captain, he's picking himself. Well, they would never pick Bryson as the captain. That's another whole subject. Look, I wanted to see Keegan play. I know how much it would mean to him to play for Team USA. But I mad respect him taking that captain's role so seriously that he wants to be the best damn captain he can be, and he'd be distracted playing. But you can't tell me Colin Morikawa or Patrick Cantley deserve that spot over him. And that kind of annoys me. I mean, someone like Keegan could sway my opinion that Team USA is going to get smoked by Team Europe. Tomorrow, Western Illinois at 12, Illinois. That'll be a close one. Without knowing the line, it's in South Florida. I still got Boise State winning, but you got to give me a line to make a prediction. Right now, poll, would the Phillies be able to beat the Mets in a playoff series? Yes, 29%. No, 53%. 18% is only if the Phillies had home field advantage. That's where the poll's at this point. Can someone with blue-green color blindness play it? Seriously, who knows? Omar Epps is back. Justin Simmons. Look, that tells you all you need to know on why Justin Simmons is still not on any NFL roster, right? You would think in theory, on paper, Justin Simmons would be the quick, easy fix. Like, Marcus Epps used to play here, but he didn't play with Vic Fangio. He don't know the Fangio system. But we're bringing back Marcus Epps instead of Justin Simmons. Can we finally just say no more Justin Simmons? 53-29, the no have it. There you have it. Nah. We want change in golf. This could have been a chance to turn the chapter of the old times traditions to start a new chapter in this generation of golf. That's fair. That's fair, Steven. I get it. I wanted Keegan to play. I get why he didn't, but I wanted him to play. That's just me. And I look at this team and I just don't know how they're going to be a team to beat Europe. I just don't. I laid my bet yesterday. Plus 150 on Team Europe to win the Ryder Cup. I don't even know the full Ryder Cup team for Europe. And I'm picking Europe. Because I think once the team's announced, that number is going to come back down. I hate my Clearwater vacation is over. Well, that we can agree on. Phil, someday, shock the world, have a college football poll. But I don't know anything about college football. It's almost Friday. It's Friday Eve, Chet. Happy Friday Eve to you. Great show last night. Great interviews with Angelo and the Godfather, Ray Dinger. I don't know if you told him. Did you remind him that I'm the new king of the morning? Not him. He's lost his crown. Chet in the chat. Chet in the chat. That's what we're at. Guys, 45 minutes in the show. Hit that like and subscribe and that share button. Please. Please, I ask you. Hit those buttons. We're talking Eagles. We're talking who even showed up to practice. We're talking Marcus Epps. What's going to be the next move that the Eagles make? Because you got to know that Howie's still not done. Is there another move out there that Howie can make? I think there is. Fleetwood set the tone winning the tour championship for what's come to the Ryder Cup. USA is going down, unfortunately. Scotty can't play every hole. Yeah, I look at it like, do you have faith that, like, I love that Ben Griffin got it. He deserved it. But is Ben Griffin on that stage yet? JT's been up and down. Cantley stinks. He's going to bore them into submission. Harris English, Russell Henley, hell, even JJ Spawn. No trust in them whatsoever. Once Epps figured out Vic defense, Brown is being benched. Very possible. We still don't know if Omar Epps is going to the 53-man roster or the practice squad initially. That's still, to be determined. I think if they put him on the 53, they got to make a cut because they got to put Willie Lampkin on there first. And then they can move Willie Lampkin over to injured reserve with whatever injury he's dealing with. I still love. We haven't joked enough about how Rams fans are crashing out about Howie signing one of their guys. How do they determine who plays in the Ryder Cup? So there's a point system for the top 6, all right, based off of wins and rankings and stuff like that. You get more points for winning a major, hence J.J. Spawn being in there. There's a point system, okay, for that. The final 6 spots, it's just up to the captain to pick whoever he wants. The last Ryder Cup, it was whoever the captain was, it was all his best friends, not necessarily the best players. Keegan's really thinking out who deserves it. He did go Kyle over himself, which sucks. I know it's Marcus Epps, okay? I know it's Marcus Epps. I just wanted to, A, see if anybody was paying attention, and B, why not make a joke like that? I think I called him Omar Epps in 2022, just for shits and giggles. Champ teams have a step on your throat killer instinct. Where was that from the Phillies yesterday? They need to find it. The Phillies never had a boot to asses type instinct, a foot on throat. They don't know how to put teams away when it matters the most. They never will. As long as Rob Thompson's their manager, they never will have that mentality. Again, Rams fans don't exist. It's like birds, purely a mass delusion. I mean, probably. Probably. But let me tell you something. The one thread I saw, there's a few fans out there, and they're crashing out on the Willie Lampkin thing. Think about it. They're crashing out over a hurt backup center that's undersized. Do it make you uncomfortable to know your show was being played at Miami Beach last year to the public? Was it? Cool. Welcome to Miami. We are always attentive of your verbal gaffes. Yeah. I mean, literally, I think, K1, you do not actually watch to talk sports. You watch to find out my mistakes. That's all you watch for. And I really firmly believe that. That's all you care about. They aren't fans. That's morning radio personalities and social media accounts getting views. Well, the responses to it are from fans, I would think. Whatever. I've never heard of that. So even if it's not real fans, if it's personalities or media, social media, whatever. Is that really an unwritten rule that I don't know about? Like, I seem to know a lot about the unwritten rules of all sports. Is there really an unwritten rule that if there's an injured player, if you put a player on the injured waive list, which is different than just waiving them, that you're not supposed to claim them? I've never heard of that. I've seen Howie put a lot of players on that injured waive list before. He's done it this offseason. I actually think the first person waived the other day was like that. Lewis Seen. was waived like that. We didn't even bring him back to the practice squad. Never heard of that unwritten rule. Oh, so they make hundreds of burgers accounts. That's right. That wasn't even me who pointed out Omar Gaff. No? You said, oh, well, yeah. Yeah. You all just want to catch my mistakes. That's all there is to it. I have never heard that unwritten rule. I think that has happened several times. I am sure it's happened several times. I don't. If you want to protect the player, you don't waive him, right? You just don't waive him. You do what Howie does. Wait. Try to sneak him through at a different time. You know, him not waiving guys till late or waiving guys really early to kind of sneak them through. That's what Howie does. Willie Lampkin. I hope Willie Lampkin, this is not a knock on Cam Jurgens. Cam Jurgens has proven he could be. I want Willie Lampkin to become the next stud center for the Eagles. Slide Jurgens back over to guard if you've got to. And I want to beat the Rams in the playoffs with Willie Lampkin as your starting center. So bad. They would crash out the fake fans even more. That's why it's unwritten, exactly. I've never heard of this rule. Howie Roseman doesn't strike me as a guy that would break an unwritten rule anyway, right? Like, do other people feel like Howie Roseman's the smartest man in the room always? And we know that. He's proven to be very smart at his job and amazing, the best in the business at his job, right? But Howie Roseman strikes me as a guy that wants to sit at the cool kids table. And if he's breaking unwritten rules, the cool kids won't let him at the table. And he'd be very upset. So he would never break an unwritten rule so he could sit at the cool kids table. Justin Crawford, third home run in a week, but he just hits too many grounders. As we said with Bruce earlier in the show, inject some youthful energy in this team. Call up Justin Crawford. Call up Andrew Painter. Call up Griff McGeary. Call up somebody. There's wasted roster spots. Call them up. Bring some youthful energy to this team. But here we are, 7 days before the football season starts, 3 days left in August, and your two best prospects are sitting wasting away in AAA. You know how pissed I'll be if Crawford or Painter get hurt in a AAA game this year and their careers get changed and altered? Oh, I'm going to throw my shit out. Oh, my God. How he exploits the gray areas. Yeah. Howie Roseman spent a year locked away in an equipment closet figuring out every little nuance on how he can get around this, get around that. Oh, let's figure this out. That year, while that year was an awful year with Chip Kelly in charge, that year where he was locked in that broom closet was the greatest year imaginable for Howie Roseman and for us Eagles fans. Because of that year, we have 2 Super Bowl championships. Because of that year, we've got arguably the best roster in football. Because during that year, he figured out all the gray areas. He figured out it's more than just managing the salary cap. He figured out how to listen and learn and grow. Learn from mistakes, not repeat mistakes. Get off of mistakes quicker. That year away was a winner for him. Imagine having the worst offensive outfield in baseball and not calling up one of the top outfield prospects in all of baseball. Imagine that. But John Middleton will say he wants his effing trophy back. Get that horse shit out of here. Actions speak louder than words, Anthony. And the Phillies' actions are not speaking that. How he ran through all of the 5 stages. He did. He went through the 12 steps that year, okay? And while he was going through those 12 steps, he figured out how to become the best of the best of the best of the best with honor, sir. And it's great. If Howie Roseman doesn't get banished to the washroom for a year. Is Howie Roseman as good at his job now as he was before? I don't know. Unwritten means it is not written anywhere. Doesn't mean it isn't heard of, because that just means it doesn't exist and you're making it up. Exactly. Phillies don't want this season to count as a year of service time. I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. I'm glad someone I used that line. That's not the first time I've used that line on this show. That is one of my that reference and 2 or 3 lines from Rounders gets referenced all the time on this show. And no one picks up on the Men in Black. I actually tweeted out last night that I wish someone would zap my eyes and make me forget about the last 3 days of Phillies baseball. I wish that little whatever they were called really exist. Todd Green is in the house. Good morning to you, Todd. Hope you're well. We're talking Phillies. We're talking Eagles. We're trying to stick to Eagles because at least there's some positive talk there. To the unwritten rule, bros, a wise man X-Pac once said, yeah. The Rams are getting X-Pac heat right now. The Eagles are getting X-Pac heat because of that right now. Cope and Seeth. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to catch up all these comments. I'm glad someone knows what the Phils are doing. Oh, it is. The Neuralizer, that's what it's called. I was thinking Nora something. I need a neuralizer. I need to be like, yo, look at the light, blink, and then someone say, well, over the last 3 days, the Phillies won all the games. Oh, yeah. Or they lost 3 games, but really close. I need something to forget the last 3 days of Phillies baseball. I don't have a neuralizer, but what I do have to forget the last 3 days of Phillies baseball is the freaking Philadelphia Eagles. First game is 7 days from today. We defend our Super Bowl championship starting 7 days from today. We see the Super Bowl banner go up at the link 7 days from today. And we're going to, as Little G says, kick some Cowboy butt 7 days from today. Guys, 16 likes is not good enough. If you haven't already, hit that like and share button and subscribe. We've got 20 votes on the poll, but only 16 likes. Guys, please do it. It is trending in the AM on the STT Sports Network. We got lots happening, guys. Like, share, subscribe. We started with 603 subscribers. I'd like to get to 605 today, so guys, help me out here, please. Flashy thingy works for me, yeah. Mitchie Boo's birthday is next Thursday. Should we have a big birthday celebration, or we should ignore it? I don't know. How old are you going to turn, Mitchie Poo? I mean, I know you look like you're 12. I wasn't going to make that joke. You got to be turning, 32, 30, somewhere in that range right now, Mitchie Poo? A 31-year-old Kofsky. Yeah, that's about right? That's what I would guess he's around. Somewhere in that 30 to 32 range he'll turn on Thursday. I'm just winging it on that one right there. But we're at the top of the hour, guys. Sorry, I'm waiting on a very important text message. Lots happening with the Eagles. Lots happening with the Phillies. Hey, look. On the bright side, it's almost September 1st, which means training camp for the Sixers almost starts. Which means we got something else to look forward to. The more and more we have to look forward to, the better. All right, so you're going to turn 31. Gotcha. I figured that was about right. Didn't want to make a 12-year-old Mitchie Poo joke. Miami Beach is great. The ugliest chick was a Buffalo ape. We have to figure the Mets out this concerning in the playoffs. Look. That's why the poll question is what the poll question is, Todd. I have zero confidence against the Mets come October. We better hope and get lucky that however the playoff structure gets set up. What do we have to finish and where do they have to finish so we don't face them in the playoffs? Hey, I looked it up. There is a written rule. He would have already cleared waivers for us to have taken him, even if an IR designation. That means the Rams didn't grab him and we put in first. So they could put him on waivers and claim him off of waivers themselves for that reason. There you go. I like that. Look at you doing the deep dive for me. Appreciate that, Doug. Michigan football this weekend. Let's go. You know what? I don't like college football. I don't care about college football. But I'm going to become a Michigan fan this year Not because of Mitchie Poo, but because Ohio State banned Dave Portnoy from going inside their stadium. For that reason, give me all Michigan over Ohio State this year. Sorry, Steven. 31 is not a boomer, no. Why did you have to mention the Sixers? Because no one else has yet. Why not? I have been drunk in Buffalo. They have been pretty attractive women in the past. Well, when you're drunk, you got your goggles on. What's up, Mr. Jose Serrano? It's been a minute since you've been on the show chatting. How are you? Hope you're well. We're talking Phillies. We're talking Eagles. We're talking Ryder Cup. Whatever you want to talk about, you drop your comments. I'll respond to them. We could have used some positive nonsense today. Yeah, where was Rick today? I really needed some positivity from Rick. Talk me off the ledge today, Rick. Tell me it doesn't matter. They're going to be World Series champions, Rick. I'm waiting for Mitchie to be what? Yeah. That's a way to lose a subscriber. Yeah. Which way is supposed to which way is making me lose a subscriber? Talking the Ryder Cup or being an Ohio State fan, anti-Ohio State. I knew you were still listening in the background, Steven. I'm a huge Dave Portnoy guy. Dave Portnoy's an asshole. Yes, absolutely. But the work Dave Portnoy has done for small businesses, especially pizza shops, the work he's done to raise money for animal rescues and dog rescues, and obviously rescuing Miss Peaches, puts him, I don't care, he could be the biggest D-bag in the world. I would respect him because he uses his platform in such a good way. Sorry, I see comments coming in. Eagles just signed another international player. Yeah, I saw that they filled out there, so they can't do any more. Does that affect the other guy, the Lockheed guy or whatever? Dave sucks. He does, but he also does great work. He's a garbage human. I disagree. He's a garbage personality. He's said garbage things for clicks, sure. But the amount of money raised and the amount of small pizza shops he saved, he's a good person. The amount of money raised for dog rescues. Dave Portnoy, the personality, might be garbage. But Dave Portnoy, the person, has a huge, kind heart. Go watch one of the videos from a bit. He walks into a pizza shop to do his challenge, and the guy's about to close the doors because he's going out of business. He writes the guy out a check to keep his doors open. Like that. Garbage human beings don't do that. Flyers start preseason hockey in a couple weeks. Oh, my God. Fall is here. I like the rescue work, however, and the pizza shop work. Also, Landon is back at practice. When I saw him out there stretching yesterday before practice and running drills, I'm like, God damn, that man's a beast. Treats animals well. He doesn't treat people like shit. He treats people great when he's acting as Dave Portnoy, the human. It's a hard sell. The work he did for pizza shops and small business owners, especially during COVID, I changed my opinion on him 1,000,000%. I understand there's a difference between the barstool Dave Portnoy and the person Dave Portnoy. Yeah, we should get Dave Portnoy on this show. He would trash UK1 in a second. They can only have one international player waiver. So our international, yes, they signed someone this morning for that, but it wasn't the guy we had. So if Aaron Rodgers donates money to small businesses, you'll like him too. Well, I'll appreciate what he does. I can still say, I agree that Dave Portnoy is an asshole. He is. But he does some phenomenal things for people, okay? And Aaron Rodgers would never donate money to a small business anyway. How we have a one more, how did he do that move? No, not right now. You're going to see fringe moves. You're going to see Marcus Epps types moves, Jose. If there's another wow move, it's later on down the line because of an injury. This roster is mostly complete outside of fringe spots. You only get one international slot exemption. Yeah. So the guy they signed means the Valky guy or whatever, he's got to go. Gotcha. Imagine losing your biggest rivalry game in all of football to an unranked team and still making the playoffs. Yeah. Well. Dave does everything for clicks, everything. I don't fall trap. Well, you know what? Those clicks that he does it for still have saved hundreds of pizza shops from going out of business. All right? Plain and simple. Pizza sales go up. Absolutely do. Summertime is the slowest time of the year in the pizza business for me in my area because of vacations and summertime and stuff like that. So as soon, even this week, because school's back this week, sales are already going back up. So yeah, absolutely. No, the person, Portney, is a piece of shit. Okay. We're going to agree to disagree. The amount of time he dedicates to that, it might be for clicks. But again, I've seen the $50, $70 million raised and given out to small business owners, pizza shop owners. Maybe I'm biased because I am a small business pizza shop owner. Maybe I am. Even the most funny mustache man had friends who loved him. Yeah. We only go to Rodgers for his, yeah, exactly. Aaron Rodgers probably thinks like the Pittsburgh Steelers are what a small business is anyway. Dave has been accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women. Yeah, I don't know enough about that. I've heard rumors about that. So, yes, that makes him a scumbag for sure. If he did anything like that, absolutely. Yeah, the Mets gained more ground. Thanks for letting them catch fire. You're welcome. You're welcome that the Phillies are doing 2007 Mets type baseball. Okay? Absolutely. Well, that's your mistake for going to Mancarena Pizza. All right? That's shit pizza. And their owner went to jail for something. I forget. Put the camera down and donate that stuff. Not everything needs to be filmed. Good-hearted people don't need to show the world. Oh, I get it. Yeah, I get it. For sure. He sold Barstool and got more money, and then I think he bought it back, didn't he? Manco's a shore location. They only make money for a few months. Yeah, they make enough money those few months to cover the whole year. I remember looking at a business for sale. It wasn't a pizza shop. I forget what kind of business it was on the boardwalk once, years and years ago. And it was only open 5 months of the year. And their numbers covered their expenses for the rest of the year. It was just a type, I forget what kind of restaurant it was. It was just one I knew nothing about. And I didn't want to get into that. So, yeah. We could play at the bank or in New York. These Mets are sweeping us easily. So, yeah, I mean, I know what you voted on the poll question, Marshawn. I have zero confidence come October. I saw somebody have a really funny, normally it's like hashtag Red October. I saw another hashtag floating around this morning, one and done October or something like that. I forget what it was. They have 4 other around the year locations. Oh, they suck. Straight up suck. Portney Films, so you can take off part of those donations as marketing. Maybe. Rodgers makes lefties. Rodgers is still the biggest scummy. It's a double dip. We need Fox's Pizza at the Jersey Shore. No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm tapping out, my man. No more pizza shops. I have 0.0000 confidence we even win the division. I still think there's a strong chance we win the division. We're going to play the Braves 4 times now. We're going to win a bunch of those games probably. We're going to play the Mets again next week. We're going to win some of them because it's going to be at home. We're going to win some meaningless games. We're going to still win 92, 93, 94 games. We'll still probably win the division, but I will have still zero confidence in them making a deep run. The Phillies are not built with an edge to win come October. The Phillies have no personality. What, we always talk about with teams, what's a team's identity? Well, guess what? The Phillies don't have an identity. What is the identity of the Phillies team? Can anybody name what the identity is? If you don't have an identity by August 28th, you can't win. We're built to be disappointments. Phillies turtle up against good pitchers. They turtle up against bad pitchers. They turtle up against pitchers that nobody's ever seen before. Yes, Adam, Topper gets fired if they lose in the first round. Maybe if they lose in the second round. Depends on whether the first round's the wild card or the DS. I think if they get to the NLCS, depending on how it plays out, he might be safe, unfortunately. Eventually you got to grow up and go from daycare into actual school. I don't know. The identity is to swing at everything no matter what. The identity is they're faking it till they make it. Problem is they're not going to make it. Dave is going to join Fox Sports kickoff show this year to rival Pat on College Game Day and bring nothing but biased opinion every week and be horrible. Whatever. I didn't know we were going to go on this deep dive on Dave Portnoy. I just wanted to make a joke about Ohio State to irk Steven on. And boy, did it work. Oh, man. Guys, we got about 15 minutes left in this show. What else is going to happen today with the Eagles? I don't know. Everyone is fed and nobody's hungry. Even Duran smelled the praise and proceeded to drink it. It's a great line, Marshawn. I mean, some will say he's hurt because of that line drive. But damn, even he's falling apart. We've seen this happen before, bringing in relievers at the deadline that are on fire, then they just die off instantly when we get them. It's like I used to joke that there's a curse out in that bullpen. There's no way a bullpen could be that bad. Dave makes lefties and righties seethe, yeah. Did you hear Gruden's take on? No, I did not. I did not even know Gruden was on WIP. Give me Gruden's take on WIP. Is it Eagles related or Dave Portnoy related? I don't know. I need to know this before I wrap this shebang up for the day. But the Phillies have no personality. Boss, sure, he's hurt, but he's still throwing heaters. No way he wasn't feeling himself after. Exactly. I agree. I don't think he's hurt. I think the curse of Phillies laziness has worn off on him already. The curse that the Phillies have, it's there. Did you see the Mets approach against Duran? They laid off the splitter and just put his fastball in play. The Phillies would never do that. Yeah, absolutely. He wasn't on WIP. It was about how he was treated when he OC here by WIP and the fans. His take on WIP. Gotcha. Well, yeah, I mean, spider-wide banana. I mean, yeah. I don't remember whether WIP crushed him or not back then when he was OC, when he was Chucky still. I know he was not well liked by everybody. We need more Nick Sirianni in Philly sports. We need more Nick Sirianni. We need more Jalen Hurts. We need less Rob Thompson, and we need less Joel Embiid. Look. Corky's experience is long overdue. That's my answer to that, too. That's my take on that. What do you want? I've come to believe firmly that there will be a point in Game 3 of the NLDS where Corky Romano comes into the 6th inning in a 3-2 baseball game where we're down and he gives up 7 runs. I have accepted the fate of my Corky Romano experience this year. And no matter what happens, there will be a moment. Game 3, we're down 4-2. 6th inning. Corky comes in, gives up a grand slam, season over. And that's the core problem of the Phillies. I used to think all of the treat praise like perfume, don't drink it. It was super corny, but that is effective because even Saquon kept the team level-headed in the Super Bowl game after every big play. Absolutely. They line that shit up and they knock it down. I didn't really fit. I just wanted to say that for you because I love that line. Yeah, treat perfume like poison, okay? Don't drink it. You can smell it, but you can't drink it. Behind a lot of corny, as you call it, super corny lines, one-liners, cliches, there is behind them some truth, okay? And the perfume one is perfect. Is Howie the greatest GM ever in football? Win a Super Bowl this year and we can have that conversation. He win another Super Bowl, put him in Canton. Are there GMs in Canton? Are there GMs in the Hall of Fame? I don't even know. If not, Howie could be the first one if he wins us another Super Bowl. Sure. Philly's not lining shit up, no. Philly's more like the fan interaction, more about the fan interaction than dancing on their own. Thank God we haven't heard that song. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we haven't heard that song yet this year, and that's what they need. They got to bring it back out. No, please no. Yes, there is a GM position of the Hall of Fame. Okay, gotcha. Can't be that many of them in the Hall of Fame, though, I would guess. Who, Marcus Epps? Omar Epps' twin brother. Played with the Philadelphia Eagles in the 2022 Super Bowl. Solid safety coming off of an ACL tear week 2 or 3 last year. Very strong depth move. Will not start unless there's a problem. Very good special teams player. What Howie has done to basically break the salary cap is wild to see. He really needs to get praised for that more. They are literally going to change the rules of the salary cap because of what Howie Roseman does. Athletes, coaches, GMs, in the history of sports, how many times have they actually had to change the rules for an individual? Wilt Chamberlain? I don't know if I can name anybody else that they had to change the rules for. They are literally changing the rules because of Howie Roseman. Bill would be the first head coach GM in the Hall of Fame. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I gave you a little eye contact there. Did you notice that? See, you're paying attention. Kind of looked up. I knew when Epps asked to be released, he was good. I said it instantly on Twitter. People called me nuts on Twitter. But that's Twitter for you. Dang, poor Bruce Willis. I watched the documentary. If you did, there was a hour-long special, not documentary, special on it on Tuesday night and watched it. It was really sad. Brady, they changed the rule, and then a year later, changed it back. Like, you got to be pretty damn special to have rules changed because of what you do. Yeah, agreed. They changed the rules more. Michael Jordan hand check. They did. Michael Jordan had some rule changes for him as well. Absolutely. For sure. Just reading some breaking news, seeing if there's any breaking news on Twitter before I wrap this up. 14 GMs are in the Hall of Fame. Okay. How as bad is Justin Simmons that Epps is an Eagle? Because I told you, Justin Simmons is not wanted on the Eagles, or Justin Simmons doesn't want to be with the Eagles, or Justin Simmons wants to be a starter making $12 million a year, and nobody wants him. I think Justin Simmons needs a reality check. There are 40 executives in the Hall of Fame. A significant number are GMs. Gotcha. Who did they change the traveling rule and basketball rule for? Off the top of my head, I do not know. I do not know. But anyway, time to almost wrap this up. Let's get a reset here on where the numbers are for today. Right now, no new subscribers, still at 603, 17 likes, 21 votes on the poll question. I think Slay will be an Eagle at the deadline. I think that Howie has some regrets, maybe not regrets, but realizes he misjudged what he had at cornerback for sure. Yeah, Simmons talented, sure. I don't know how was his season last year really with the Falcons? Because he was available mid-August last year, signed with the Falcons, I think it was. Or was it Cardinals? It was a Birds team. But all he did all offseason, talk about how he wanted to be an Eagle. And everyone assumes because he played with Fangio, he'd be a perfect fit. Well, maybe he and Fangio don't get along. Maybe Fangio doesn't like him. Maybe Fangio sees what he needs in Simmons and thinks he's lost a step in that sense. If Justin Simmons was the answer, Justin Simmons would be an Eagle. But Justin Simmons isn't the answer. We talked about this last year. We're talking about it again this year. Just let the Justin Simmons nonsense go. Not saying to you guys personally, but to the fans that keep wanting to say, why isn't Justin Simmons an Eagle? They got to let it go. They do. What's on tap the rest of this week? Tomorrow. More Eagles talk. More Phillies talk. Do the Phillies play the Braves tonight? Does the Braves series start tonight? Let me check. The 28th. Yes, the Braves series starts tonight. Who goes tonight for the Phillies-Braves game? We got Cal Quantrill versus Aaron Nola. I wonder if that's any relation to Paul Quantrill and Aaron Nola. Quantrill, 5.51 ERA, 1.42 WHIP. My guess is he gives up 2 hits for the Phillies tonight. Make Justin Simmons a YouTube short, Phil. Maybe. Time to put that nonsense to bed. Put the matter to rest. Okay. We'll see what I have time for today. Busy day today. Lots going on. So I got to wrap this up. Got a late email last night about a catering order, so I got to shut her down a few minutes early today so we can get to work and get this catering order put together. But anyway, Nola will make the Braves cowards. If Nola goes out there and shuts the Braves down tonight, that would be something. Yes, it was another great. I feel like we're vibing this week. The content's grooving this week. Yeah, the show's not booming in subscribers this week. We had our boom last week. I'm feeling like this is quality episodes. Got a good guest next week, good baseball guest next week on Wednesday's show. Got to wait to, I don't like to announce things too soon, then they change their schedules, but got a good young rising baseball guest on the show next week. Never been on the show before. The week to end all weeks. It's been a good vibed week this week, Marsha or K1. Braves are 6-4 in their last 10 and playing better lately. I am nervous for sure. I think we take at least 2, if not 3 games against the Braves. I'm pretty confident in that. At home, Labor Day weekend. I think the Phillies got it this week. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up. I'll be back tomorrow. Eagles, Phillies, who knows what else. Guys, go Birds. Bubbles up.